2014 Port Moody All Candidates Debate. My name is Greg Garrison, and I'm going to be your moderator for this evening. And before we get started with the debate itself, we have a few rules to go over. This is something that's brand new that is being tried out by the Chamber this year, and this is the inaugural trial of it. So if there's some issues, please bear with us, but I'm sure it'll all work out fine. Today's debate is going to be webcast live at www.tricitieschamber.com. The webcast is going to be brought to you by Tri-City TV and the Ani Group. Now, we're going to go over a little bit about how you can access some of the questions and that type of thing with cell phones, laptops, that kind of thing. Normally we'd say turn all the cell phones off, but you're going to need them on. But if you wouldn't mind making sure that they're turned to silent or vibrate, because there's nothing more annoying, I'm sure, for these folks when cell phones go off during important things they have to say. So today we're going to be using something called Pigeonhole Live for the question and answer sessions. And there's some information on it up on the screens there, as you can see. So if you have a smartphone, a tablet, a laptop with you, you have to launch into your browser and go to the website pigeonhole.at, or the other one that you saw is, as you picked up one of these coming inside, if you go to phlive.at, and that should be able to allow you to bring up the particular website. So Pigeonhole, pigeonhole.at. Key in the chamber passcode, or the passcode, which is chamber, CHAMBER. That can be upper or lowercase, doesn't matter. Click go, and away you go. You're free to fire away with questions, and you'll also be able to vote on the questions that are already there that interest you. And the key to that is that the questions with the highest votes are going to be the ones that are going to be asked tonight. And so if you can get on that and get active, and you want to have a question asked, vote for that question, and hopefully that'll come up, and we have it listed here live, so we'll be able to see as it goes along as well as to which questions actually we'll be asking. There are some very specific chamber questions that have been designed by the policy committee, and those will be asked first, and if there's time, we will ask the other questions. Now, there's a little bit of a list of rules and things we got to go over here, and let me go over those a little bit for you here. So here's the format, and it may sound a little confusing, but don't worry, because Aaron's got this all under control. And he's going to control this little timer here. And so thank goodness, Aaron. I hope you're watching that timer and can keep us straight. So there we go. And it's most important for you guys to keep track of or keep on time, because we are going to be very, very, very cognizant of that. There's a lot of you, as you can see. There's a lot of things everybody's going to want to say, but the time is crucial and critical. And so when your 60 or 90 or 30 seconds is up, whatever it may be, you can see the timer there, just like we can see it out here. We're going to actually have to stop you, and if it gets to the point where you don't listen to the stop, slice of the neck, the microphone actually will shut off. So hopefully we don't have to get to that. Everybody's going to be good. We don't want this to be like a Jerry Springer thing or anything like that. So I think everybody's pretty good up here, right? Yes? Everybody nodding their head? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, good. So what we're going to do is each candidate will have 90 seconds to introduce themselves and their platform. Next, we're going to call up then we're going to call it, following the pairs in this order, my mistake. Every candidate's going to have their 90 seconds. And so the first ones will be the mayoral candidates, Mike Clay and Gaetan Royer. Second will be Rosemary Small and Tom Bell. Third will be Zoe Royer and Diana Dilworth. Fourth will be Rick Blumack and Robert Bagramov. Fifth is Chris Carter and Megan Laddie. Sixth is Anne Ladouceur. Did I get that right, Anne? Yes, thank you. And Callan Morrison. Seventh, Brian Hode and Kathy Chenna. And third is Barbara Juncker. Did I get that right? Yeah. Yes, thank you. And Jerry Nuttall. So that's the order that we're going to go in for the introductions, and that's going to be the order in which they will have in those pairs in their debates. So each pairing will be asked a question, and they'll be the first question will be prepared by the chamber. Each candidate will have 60 seconds to respond to the question. After both candidates have had their 60 seconds, they will have 30 seconds to ask a question of the other candidate, who will have 30 seconds to respond, and then vice versa. So this is the part where Aaron's going to work like crazy because there's going to be all the 60s, 90s, 30s. So we'll keep track of that. The candidates do have the option to forego their question, but must respond if they're asked a question. Each candidate may only ask one follow-up question of their opponent. After the chamber question has been answered, time permitting, we will ask a question from the public. And each pair will have a maximum of 7 minutes for their actual question and answers. We'll ask the candidates public questions until the 7 minutes is up. And once that's done, we'll be moving on to the next set of candidates. How are we doing on rules so far? Got that all straight? You writing this down? Are these rules posted anywhere? No. Okay. No, that's part one. It's going to take like 2 hours to get through the rules. No time for talking. Sorry, folks. After all the pairs have completed their debate portion, the candidates for councillor will take the stage again, and the previously listed pairs will be asked to come up with a resolution to the chamber question they were asked. They can debate that. They're going to have 4 minutes to talk about that. The resolution portion will demonstrate how, as city councillors, candidates would be able to work together to find a common solution or stand their ground on vital issues. Each pair will have a maximum of 4 minutes. The pairs may declare that they have reached a resolution or that the issue is irreconcilable. Now, this is where the audience comes in. No standing cheering. We would like, because of the time nature of this and how strict it is, if we could ask that you hold your applause until the end of each particular section. And we'll let you know. Is there an applause light? No. Doesn't this thing change from time to say applause, applause? All right. Okay, so it's time to get started. Everybody good? Right, all right. So candidates, let's get started. And we're going to start with opening statements. And first, opening statements from Mike Clay. Remember, 90 seconds on the opening statements. And in all questions, please stick to the category of the question specific.
Thank you, Greg, and thank you, everybody, for coming, and to the Chamber for putting this event on. There's nothing quite like the experience of sitting here and saying, we're going to try something new. It is great to see how many people have turned up tonight, though, and I want to thank you. I was born in Port Moody, as I think everybody knows. I went to school. I graduated from Port Moody Secondary. I've been in this community a long, long time, and it's been an absolute honor and privilege to be the mayor of the city that I love and grew up in. And we have such great people and great things going on here that I really just can't get enough of it, which is why I'm back. So the interesting thing, I was 6 years as a councillor, and now I'm 3 years as the mayor. And the great thing about being the mayor is you're still part of council, and you know we vote, and everybody thinks the mayor has a veto vote and such. We don't. We're a member of council. But it's the other stuff that I get to do as the mayor that I've enjoyed so much in this city, which is, you know, the people coming down to see me in my office, going out to the various openings, working with the community groups, going into the schools. And on the chamber bench, one of the things that I did very early in my mandate was went out and met with every business leader, every school principal that we could get a hold of, and sat down and talked to them and said, what's going on in your business? What's going on in your school? How can we work together? And that's what I like to do, and that's what I've been doing as your mayor, is I've been building relationships and I've been bringing people together. I think you've seen what we've accomplished in the Tri-Cities, and we're working on joint planning now in the Tri-Cities, and it's really been a lot of fun and a lot of hard work. So I thank you for voting for me previously, and I thank you for voting for me again this year.
Perfect. Thank you, Mike. Gaetan? Gaetan Royer.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you to the Chamber. I became a leader as a Canadian military engineer and a United Nations peacekeeper. I spent 14 months in Bosnia and Sarajevo during the war. I spent 20 years in 4 different municipalities, 11 right here in Port Moody. I was city manager here. I know the city inside out. I wrote a book about cities, and I'm not afraid to roll up my sleeves and get things done. My focus over the next 4 years is going to be to rebuild our tax base and jobs. I've now shared with literally thousands of people the vision of a campus-style business park around the Moody Centre SkyTrain station. Beautifully landscaped, pedestrian plazas with low-rise buildings accommodating high-tech industries, green technology industries, engineering firms, And I would work very, very hard to attract a college to that area, a college like the Art Institute or a branch of the Simon Fraser University. At the door, when I talk about this, a focus on rebuilding our business tax base, people get excited about that vision. For most of your neighbors,
Gaetan, thank
condo
you.
towers in
That's
Moody
90
Center
seconds. Thank you, Gaetan.
don't make sense. Thank you.
Thank you. The first of the councillors will be Rosemary Small.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you to the Chamber for hosting this event. The Evergreen Line will be completed in 2016, and Port Moody will be facing some challenges in the near future. 70% of traffic flows through Port Moody from surrounding cities, and as chair of the Transportation Committee, I urge Council and staff to develop and implement the Master Transportation Plan by 2015. And if re-elected, I will continue to address the problems of transportation and speeding throughout our city. Council needs to support local business and encourage business growth. As chair of the Economic Development Committee, I resurrected the High-Tech Park Committee. My priority would be to see a creation of a marine park that would create approximately 300 new jobs. We need to preserve our parks and environmentally sensitive areas. The new official community plan addresses this. Let's continue to make Port Moody affordable so that people who want to stay here can live here. My extensive experience in finance allows me to work towards a balanced budget, so that our tax increases may be kept to a minimum while still providing you the services you want, need, and support. I'm running as an independent. I pay for all my own campaign. I take contributions from nobody so that I can better represent you on council. And I promise that I will continue to do that if re-elected. I thank you.
Thank you, Rosemary. Tom, you're up next. And ladies and gentlemen, I neglected to mention that you may have been handed out a question form. If you don't have a phone that you can send the question in, you can write it down on the form and hand it to one of the volunteers in the room.
I'm Tom Bell. I lived in Port Moody for 7 years. I'm a past president of the Kinsman Club. I've done over 400 hours of community work with the food bank, and I've driven for the MAP program, which picks up the homeless people. I'm here for you people. I'm not here for the rest of them. I read all the flyers that I got in this big package from Port Moody. If you look at that package, they're all the same. Port Moody's in a big change for the next 4 years. It's our time to shine. We need to pick a new team of people that will work well together, and Port Moody could strive. And I believe in Port Moody, and that's why I'm here with you people here today. And this is my second time running. And I am a true independent. I've taken money from no one, and nobody's in my pocket, and I'm here to work for you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. Zoe Roy. Zoe?
Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome.
My name is Councillor Zoe Royer, and it is my great honor to have served as councillor for the past 3 years for the residents and businesses of Port Moody. I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs, and we immigrated here from Scotland about 4 decades ago in search of opportunity. My mom, a surgeon, and my dad, a geophysicist or earth scientist, both owned their own businesses. And for nearly 2 decades, I've worked in dentistry, a profession that cares for people. As a business manager, I also know what it takes to make payroll while continuing to care for people. As chair and founder of Kaboom, we garnered 130 Port Moody-based artists with 500 spectators and created a legacy and a directory of artists. My biggest concern right now is the recent adoption of the official community plan. The plan is missing essentials like clear limits and phased growth, infrastructure, and enough employment space for a growing community. Parks and park space, 106 acres in total, that will be required to service 15,000 more people. I did not support it. My work is not done, and I will continue to work hard to protect the interests of our residents in the city of Port Moody. Thank you.
Thank you, Zoe. Diana Dilworth.
Good evening. My name is Diana Dilworth, and I'm seeking your support for my 5th term on Port Moody City Council. I've lived in this city for almost 25 years, and I've raised my family here. And I understand the demands of a young, growing family and the demands of an empty nester and everything in between. And having served 12 years on council, I am more passionate than ever about helping preserve what it is that we love about Port Moody and making it even better. And because this is a chamber event, I'm going to do something a little bit different here, and I'm going to talk about business. In 1999, I campaigned on a platform of recognizing our local business, bringing them together to network, and recognizing their success. And as a result, we recently hosted the 9th annual Spike Business Awards for our community, and I'm really proud of the part that I had in helping make that happen. I've continued to advocate to look at new and different ways to engage our business community. I've had the honor of chairing the Economic Development Committee that created dialogue roundtables that brought together business owners with city staff and city council to talk about challenges and look at new ways of doing things. I've supported the Invest in Port Moody campaign, the Bring Your Business Home campaign, and the Shop Local campaign. But there's a lot more that we need to do to make sure that Port Moody has a thriving local economy. This year, I've been chairing a tourism subcommittee that's bringing forward some very good recommendations on a very strong tourism-based plan that's going to help our businesses and artists survive. These are exciting times for Port Moody. There's opportunities for business and residents, and I would be honored if you'd let me be a part of helping bring those opportunities to fruition. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. And Rick Glumac. Rick.
Hi, my name is Rick Glumac, and I'm seeking re-election on November 15th. I'm the type of councillor who's accessible and responsive. If you send me an email or call me, I'll call you back. I host a cafe chat meeting every month where I invite residents to come and talk about key issues in the community. I've, in this campaign, knocked on almost 2,000 doors, and the big issues I'm hearing are around development, traffic, and protection of our parks as we grow. Over the last 3 years, I've been a voice for balanced development at Port Moody. I established an advisory design panel to ensure that experts are reviewing all our development applications to ensure they're the right fit for the community. And I fought for height and density limits in the OCP. I also believe that the solution to our traffic problems is by working collaboratively with neighboring municipalities. And I serve on the Tri-Cities Regional Transportation Committee where we're working on this issue. Expansion of Rocky Point Park should be a key goal for the next council. Over my last term, I've brought forward several park expansion initiatives, including the rezoning of the community garden off of Murray Street. If you vote for me, I will do everything I can to make sure that Port Moody maintains its unique identity. We're not Coquitlam Centre and we're not Brentwood Mall, we're Port Moody. And we can grow, we can revitalize, but we should never compromise who we are. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rick. Robert Bagramov. Robert.
Caught in the chairs there. Hi, everybody. My name's Rob. This is my second time running for City Council. I've been studying political science for the last 3 years, and the reason that I'm running for City Council is over the last 14 years that I've been living here, I've seen quite a bit of change in our city. And this next wave of change that's going to be centered around the SkyTrain is probably going to be the biggest change that I've seen in the city and that I've seen through its history, and especially talking to the residents at the doors as well. Basically, my campaign is centered on issues and not on pretty words. From talking to people at the doorsteps, traffic and development are the two big things. And so what I'm proposing to do is to bring very specific solutions to things. So for example, timed lights on St. John Street, proposing counterflow lanes so that people could get through the city faster, because at the end of the day, we were never chosen, we never chose to be the throughway for Coquitlam and for Vancouver, but that's what we ended up developing into. One of the things that I'm proposing to cut back on is something I call metro townification. And so that's basically building extremely densely and not thinking about our infrastructure and not thinking about the livability of residents. So balancing the new developments as well as existing residents is what I'm all about, and that's what I plan to do on City Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Excellent job so far, guys. Keep up the good timing. Next is Chris Carter. Chris?
My name is Chris Carter. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. I'm here today because being involved in the community is my passion. I've been on more committees and more boards than I can even count. I firmly believe in public service, and I think it's important for everyone to be part of that. I've been to more council meetings this year than most of the people who are non-incumbents on the stage, and a few incumbents as well. My vision for Port Moody includes balanced, sensible development. I want to see a city where you can live, work, and play, and everything's inclusive. I want to see development done right. I want to see it in a way where we hold our developers accountable to do it right. We have one chance to develop our city, and it needs to be done in a way that is beneficial to the community. I want to see more parks and off-leash dog space throughout the city. I want to see Port Moody work with the region to alleviate traffic along the St. John's corridor, and I will never vote in favor of any pay parking in Rocky Point Park. I would be gracious if you would let me represent you on council. I will always listen to your thoughts, ideas, and perspectives. On November 15th, vote smarter, vote Carter.
Thank you, Chris. And Megan Lottie. Megan.
I'd like to thank the Chamber for hosting this event and thank everybody for coming out tonight. My name is Megan Lottie. I've lived in this community and raised my family and volunteered in this community for 25 years. I am the most experienced candidate running in this election, having had the honor to serve this community for 15 years, from 1996 to 2011. After taking one term off to focus on family and career, I've decided to seek re-election. I am known as a proactive, positive, and collaborative member of council. I am looking forward to working with the new council. I believe that the next 4 years are critically important to the future of Port Moody, and it requires leadership at the council table. The decisions that will be made regarding the Evergreen Line will have an impact on the livability of this community for decades to come. In addition, I believe that there are economic, financial, and environmental issues that need to be addressed, and I believe that I can contribute at the council table on all of these issues. Many people have asked me why I'm running again after 15 years. And the answer is quite simple. I love Port Moody. I'm passionate about this community. And more importantly for you as voters, I believe that I have the experience, the knowledge, and the leadership that is required at the council table at this very important time in our history. So on November 15th, please remember to vote for experience and proven leadership and re-elect Megan Lottie. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Anne Ladesseur. The other microphone actually does work, in case people want to go there.
Good evening. My name is Anne Ladesseur. And I'd first like to thank the Chamber for organizing this event and for coming up with the unique format that we're all going to be experiencing tonight. I am a business owner, and as such, I know how invested the business community is in the future health and well-being of this community. We want to make sure that Port Moody has a diversified tax base, that the new Evergreen Line is also bringing people to Port Moody. We need a diversified housing market with a good balance of housing options. We want to be able to attract more employers whose employees can live and work here. One of the benefits of this election campaign for me has been that not only have I had a chance to talk to Port Moody residents on their doorsteps, and I too have knocked on almost 2,000 doors, losing a little bit of weight, and I have also, though, had a chance to ask questions. It's given me the excuse to do it, to ask questions of business owners and their staff, and to find out what the challenges and the rewards are for them of being in business in the various Port Moody neighborhoods. This election will decide if our city will become simply a bedroom community or a city where people live, work, and play.
Sorry, Anne, that's time.
Thank you very much. Vote Anne Ladouceur on November 15th.
Thank you, Anne. And Callan Morrison. Callan?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Callan Morrison. I have been a resident of Port Moody for the past 15 years. My family moved to Port Moody and built a home on St. John Street with a small chiropractic office quite a few years ago. I grew up in the city, having attended both Moody Middle School and Port Moody Secondary School, and I feel a strong connection to our home and feel the need to contribute to our city's future. My passion for education inspired me to attain a bachelor's degree in political science at Simon Fraser University, and I am currently a committee member on the Port Moody Parks and Recreation Commission. I believe in fresh ideas and looking at challenges from multiple angles to find the most efficient and cost-effective solutions. I believe in action and progress, and I'm committed to helping create a city that you and your family can be proud of. I am a customer service-driven, and I believe that our residents deserve to be included in the municipal government process and should feel that their issues are being addressed. Working in the sales, service, and finance industry, it has positioned me well to be able to understand consumer needs and wants. I feel this experience would be a valuable asset on City Council. As part of the next generation of Port Moody's owners and business owners, I believe that the next few years are going to be critical in establishing the future of our beautiful city and protecting its heritage and community presence. I am committed to making sure that you, the residents and business owners, are included in the process and welcome you and your input on City Council. Thank you, and please vote for Callan Morrison on November 15th.
Thank you, Callan. And Brian Hode. Brian. I should have came up with small stories and anecdotes in between.
Small one here. Well, thank you, Chamber, for having us all here this evening. And hello, Port Moody. My name is Brian Hode, and for 30% of my life, I've lived in Port Moody. I love this city. And my platform is based on basically a triangle of transportation / SkyTrain, taxes and development for more services. They all equal each other. It's the housing and affordability. How do we ease that? Well, I believe it all comes around into community as one and having that discussion. I believe our community is one of the best we've ever seen in the Lower Mainland, and there's a reason why it has been commonly and year after year reviewed as one of the most livable cities in the world. Yeah, yes, the world. I've chosen to raise my family here. I've built solid relationships within my neighborhoods, and quite honestly, Port Moody is my family. And now I've decided it's time to give back. I really feel powerful in my heart that that's what I need to do. And I have no other agenda other than that. And council here, we're a collective. Hopefully we are a collective, and I'll work 100% with that team to gain the acceptance for the changes in Port Moody. I think that's incredibly important. And we have to get a community balance in there, and that balance has to be for the citizens of this community. So I thank you, Port Moody. November 15th, vote for Hode. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Our next presenter, Kathy Chenna. Kathy?
A strong financial community requires hard work, transparency, and engagement. My name is Kathy Chenna, and for over 20 years, I've been a community volunteer and a leader. This year, the time was right for me to make a bigger impact in the city that I call home. Port Moody is a great place to live, work, and play. We've already heard that. I plan on being part of the important dialogue that will continue to make Port Moody a great place
for families and businesses. I want to make a positive, meaningful impact on the growth of our city by representing your voice to increase the number of local businesses. When elected as your new councillor, I bring a fresh voice to the table. I will be a fierce advocate for fairness in all areas of our city by consulting not only our residents and city staff, but also working with businesses and organizations. I will boldly advocate for responsible spending and efficient use of our tax dollars. My name is Kathy Chenna. I'm involved, dedicated, and accountable. Let me be your fresh voice on council on November 14th. Vote Chenna.
Thank you, Kathy. Our next speaker is Barbara Juncker. Barbara?
Hi, my name is Barbara Juncker, and I've lived in Port Moody for 25 years with my husband, Peter. Port Moody is where we chose to raise our 2 children and serve our community. I'm running for City Council to ensure responsible development around the Evergreen Line, to protect our parks and increase our green space, to reduce the traffic congestion, and to increase economic development while maintaining the small town feel of our community. I'm asking you to vote for me on November 15th because I am a leader, reliable, energetic, a sound decision maker with years of community service and expertise in mediation and negotiation. Vote for Barbara Juncker, that's Juncker with a J, on November 15th. Thank you, and thank you to the Chamber for hosting the event.
Thank you, Barbara. And Jerry Nuttall. Jerry.
Hi, I'm Jerry Nuttall. I'm running for re-election to council. My family and I have lived and worked in Port Moody, our businesses in Port Moody, for over 40 years. To see my qualifications, please read my brochure. I have many reasons for wanting to serve. In this short time, I'm going to talk about 3. The OCP. I helped create that OCP, and I voted to endorse it. Shortly, we will start implementing that vision. As an experienced councillor, I want to be part of moving that process forward. High-Tech Park. Throughout this term and last terms, I worked as a chair of the committee and subcommittee. That probably makes me the resurrection that Councillor Small was talking about. We have made considerable progress this term, and then in the next term we will see concrete results. I want to be part of that. Dealing with effects of new construction on neighbors. We need to have neighbors, working with council. Together we will find the answer. I want to be part of that as well. I represent you. I do not accept donations or endorsements from labor groups or major developers. My campaigns have always been financed from my personal savings. On November 15th, vote Nuttall. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jerry. And that concludes the first portion of our evening tonight.